Hey there, movie fans. Welcome to the Blues of April 2016. This month's shout out is going to Parsnip Burger. He's a great YouTuber, and what he's doing with his videos is that he just sits down and talk about the movies that he has purchased, and he really takes his time for that. And I enjoy watching those videos. Just sit down, relax, and share your passion for movies. That's what I'm trying to do with my videos. The only difference is that I'm standing behind the camera and I have to cut some footage out, because I like to ramble a little too much. But he recently received 250 subscribers. Congratulations on that, sir. I hope you will get many, many more because you absolutely deserve it. And yeah, the link is below. Go check him out. Parsnip Burger. Okay, now I have a lot of stuff to show you. I went a little crazy in April. There were some sales going on, and that I just had to take advantage of. Amazon France had a sale. Amazon Germany had one. Amazon UK also had one, and Arrow had a flash sale. And of course, I also bought some other stuff as well. So I went a little crazy. But anyway, let me start with the Amazon French sale. They had the buy two get one for free sale, which I also took advantage of in my previous update. And this is the one I got for free, Cowboy, which is an upgrade. Fantastic Western with Glenn Ford and Jack Lemmon. A beautiful transfer, by the way, which is restored in 4K. This also has some extras, which, if I'm correctly, are not on the Twilight Time Blu-ray. These are in English, by the way. So is the movie. They're all in English. They do have French subtitles, but you can't turn them off with your remote. So, yeah, very nice release. Very nice slipcover with the black keep case there. Next one is Fat City. Beautiful box set. You might remember in my previous update I showed a similar set of Lord Jim, and I really like these editions. It comes with the the DVD Blu-ray Digi box, and you can see a picture there of Stacy Keach, and there is Jeff Bridges, and there are the disc of the Blu-ray and the DVD, and a picture on the back there. And it has the book as well. I've never seen this movie before, but I'll check it out tonight or tomorrow night. There's John Huston, who directed this film. The great John Huston. Very beautiful set and beautiful pictures as well. The dude in his younger years. I believe this one was also released by Twilight Time. And the last one I got in the Amazon French sale is a movie that I've always wanted to see. This is Night of the Demon, also known as Curse of the Demon. Directed by Jacques Tourneur. I know I butchered that one. But he was a master in making these atmospheric, noir-ish, black and white horror films from the 40s and 50s. Movies like Cat People, I Walked with a Zombie, The Leopard Man. And, this is something like that. Let me give you a quick look on the contents of this set. There's Dana Andrews. There's the DVDs and the Blu-rays, and a quick look at the book. I heard many great things about this movie, so I'm looking forward to check this one out. There's some what do you call it, art department designs and all that. Yeah, very nice set. And the director has worked several times with Dana Andrews, including this Western Canyon Passage, which also starred Brian Donlevy and Susan Hayward. Still need to see this movie, but I did check out what the Blu-ray was like, and I have to say the transfer looks amazing, really fantastic, stunning picture quality there. This is the German ditchy book, if you want to call it. Only a couple of pages though. But a very nice release. Slither. Now this is just a great fun horror comedy. I haven't seen this one for a while, so I really need to check this one out again. And it has a very nice blood red keep case there. This is very appropriate for a movie like this. Nice design on the disc itself. The Glenn Miller Story. This is a wonderful film. Wonderful performances by James Stewart as Glenn Miller, and June Allison as his wife. I do like Glenn Miller's music. I have 2 CDs of the man, and it's such a shame that he, what happened to him. I mean, he died just way too early. But this is a wonderful and lovely film. Into the Wild. I would say this is Sean Penn's best film as a director, although I haven't seen The Indian Runner for such a long time, so I probably need to grab that one very soon. The Indian Runner is with Viggo Mortensen and David Morse and Charles Bronson. I have to get the DVD. I don't think it's on Blu-ray though, but I have to get that one soon. It's been ages ago since I've seen this one, but this is an extraordinary film, absolutely. Into the Wild. Midway, which is a fantastic WW2 movie with an extraordinary cast. I mean, just look at these names there. Really good. I have seen this one before, but it's a great film. Just a great film. Burying the Ex, which is the latest by Joe Dante, and I really like this. I would not consider it as one of Dante's best, but it's very enjoyable. And like Slither, it has these this great blood red keep case. But this is kind of like a throwback to the horror comedies from the 80s and 90s. The kind of movies where the boyfriend or the girlfriend comes back to life, as a zombie. Like for example, My Boyfriend's Back from the early 90s. This is something like that. And it's just very entertaining. I really liked it a lot. The Wanderers. Man, I haven't seen this one since I was in my teens, I guess. I know there is a media book of this movie that came out a couple of years ago, I guess, from Germany. But this was just €5, €5, so I can't complain about that. I mean, Ken Wall, whatever happened to this guy? I know he was in Fort Apache, The Bronx, I believe the movie was called, with Paul Newman. And the girl next to him is Karen Allen. We all know her from Raiders of the Lost Ark. But I still need to revisit this one. Slapshot. Now this is a great comedy about a ice hockey team with Paul Newman, and also the those brothers. What's the name again? Oh, the Hanson brothers. That's them. You know, three nerds. They're just hilarious in this film. Also five heroes. So couldn't pass it up. Next one is Mercenario, also known as The Mercenary, which is really one of my favorite spaghetti westerns. Definitely one of my favorite Cecil Corbucci westerns, and it also has one of my favorites scores by Ennio Morricone. Yeah, just a fantastic movie with Frank Nero, Tony Musante. This guy, he was also in The Detective with Frank Sinatra, and Jack Palance. Very nice Blu-ray from Germany, and it also has an interview with Frank Nero, and he says something which I did not know before. Originally, this movie was supposed to be directed by Gillo Pontecorvo, who is responsible for, without a doubt, one of the greatest films of all time, The Battle of Algiers. But he has decided not to do this film, and he did Burn instead with Marlon Brando. So they hired Corbucci to make this film, and I love Corbucci, and he did a great job with this film. But I would be very curious to find out what Pontecorvo has done with this one. I mean, Pontecorvo making a spaghetti western, that would have been special. Now here's a movie that I'm pretty sure I will have a good laugh at this. This is The Conqueror with John Wayne as Genghis Khan. Now I'm a fan of John Wayne, but him playing Genghis Khan is, without a doubt, one of the biggest miscastings in the history of miscastings. I'm sure there are people out there who find this racist and discriminated, white actor playing an Asian man. A similar thing happened recently with Scarlett Johansson playing a Japanese character in the live-action version of Ghost in the Shell. Well, and I completely understand it, of course, if people are offended with white actors playing Asian or black characters. But the best thing you could do in this case is not to take it seriously and just enjoy it for what it is. I mean, that's what I will do when I sit down and watch this movie. Masters of the Universe. Now this is a childhood favorite of mine. It was wonderful to see this movie again after so many years. And I saw this at the movie theater back in the day, which was this, 87 I believe it was, 1987. And I was 9 years old back then, and I went to see it with my mom. And I remember very well that my mom gave me two choices. She said, or we're going to watch this movie, or we're going to the circus, which was in town at that time. But I immediately said, I want to see the movie. I really want to see the movie. I was never really a circus goer anyway. But I was a huge fan of He-Man, and of course I had all the toys, and I watched the animation series, obviously, and they were planning to do a sequel to this, which was going to be called Masters of the Universe 2 Cyborg, and it was going to be directed by Albert Payen. He made a 2-picture deal with Canon Films. He was going to direct the sequel and Spider-Man. But because Canon Films had financial problems with Mattel and Marvel, Mattel is the company behind He-Man, and I don't need to tell you what Marvel is, of course. So those two movies never happened. I believe the story of the sequel was where He-Man was going back to Earth to fight Skeletor, and the Earth is now, kind of this Mad Max sort of post-apocalyptic wasteland. And Dolph Lundgren was not going to be in it, by the way. He said he was not interested in playing He-Man again, so they cast an unknown actor who I believe was a surfer, I guess it was, to play He-Man. But what Albert Pine has done, he took the script for the sequel, made some changes, and he made it into a standalone movie, which eventually became Cyborg with Jean-Claude Van Damme. So Cyborg, in a way, was supposed to be the sequel to Masters of the Universe. Excalibur. This is a personal favorite of mine. I mean, visually, it's such an amazing film. You know, every level is just top notch. The acting, the direction, the cinematography, especially, the costume design, locations, everything is just fantastic. And in my opinion, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. In my opinion, this is just the best and definitive movie about King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. I would have loved to see what John Boorman, the director, would have done with his Lord of the Rings movie. Before he started working on Excalibur, he was trying to do, his version of Lord of the Rings, which was merely based on the first book, The Fellowship of the Ring. But there are a lot of changes that are not in the book, and that, I don't think the Tolkien fans would be very happy with that. If you want to know what those changes are, just Google John Boorman Lord of the Rings, and you'll find more information on that. But the locations that he looked at for Lord of the Rings, he used that in this film. So Excalibur, in a way, is the closest thing we're ever going to get to his take on Lord of the Rings. 1492, Conquest of Paradise, with Gerard Depardieu as Christopher Columbus. This was one of the two films about Columbus that came out in the same year. I believe it was 1992. It doesn't say here. I believe it was 92, 91 maybe. But the other movie was called Christopher Columbus, The Discovery, with Marlon Brando and Tom Selleck. I've seen that one as well. I remember it wasn't, a bad movie. I know that people didn't like it very much. But I remember that this was a better one, definitely. Charlie Ferrick, absolutely love this film. This is Walter Matthau at his very best, in my opinion. Kind of, plays a guy who's pretty much screwing over the mafia, and he does that in a brilliant way. Such a fine film, absolute fine film. Next are two movies by Catherine Bigelow, Blue Steel and Strange Days. I'm a fan of Catherine Bigelow. I think she's a fantastic director. Blue Steel, which is really, in my opinion, an underrated movie. Jamie Lee Foxx plays a rookie police officer who, by accident, witnessed a robbery at a supermarket, and she ends up shooting the robber, and one of the customers, played by Ron Silver, takes away the robber's gun without anybody noticing it. And he becomes sort of obsessed with this gun, and he also becomes obsessed with Jamie Lee Curtis. And it kind of ends up in this cat and mouse game. But this is a very, very good film. Ron Silver is really good. He's just a psychopath in this film. And Clancy Brown, another underrated actor, if you ask me. Clancy Brown is just fantastic. He's also great in this one. But go check it out if you haven't seen it. Blue Steel. And the other one is Strange Days, which really is another underrated gem. A movie that was ahead of its time, really. Ray Fiennes, who plays some sort of a drug dealer, only he deals with illegal virtual reality footage instead of drugs. And this film was written by James Cameron, who was once married to Catherine Bigelow, and he also produced it. But it's a great film, Strange Days. Next one is The Onion Field, which is a really good film. It's based on a true story about two police officers who are kidnapped, I believe. Can I call it that? Kidnapped? They pull over a vehicle making an illegal U-turn and find themselves held at gunpoint by two seasoned armed robbers, forced to give up their guns and drive to a desert road. Both officers face the horror of becoming victims of a mob-style execution, but only one is able to escape into the bleak darkness of an onion field. That's pretty much what the story is about. And James Woods plays one of the robbers, and he does that so good. I mean, his character is such a bastard, and you want him, to be punished. But at the same time, I wouldn't exactly say rooting for him, but that would be a little too far. But it's just the way how Woods plays this man. It's fantastic, absolutely. And fine performances by all of the actors, by the way. Franklin Seals plays the other robber. I've never heard of this actor before, but he did a couple of films and TV series. But he died at a very early age of AIDS, I believe he died of. John Savage is also very good. And Ronnie Cox, I love Ronnie Cox in this film, even though he has a very small role, but it's a great performance by him. And I thought it was a great film, directed by Harold Becker. What's good about this is that they didn't have any studio interference. Becker, along with the writer Joseph Wambaugh, and some friends of theirs, they gathered the money together and made this film on their own. Next one is 10 Rillington Place, directed by Richard Fleischer. And if you're a regular viewer of my videos, you know that I've been talking about Fleischer a couple of times in my latest videos. I've been discovering and rediscovering his films lately, and most recently was The Boston Strangler, which I showed in my previous update. And like The Boston Strangler, this film is based on a real-life serial killer, John Christie, exceptionally played by Richard Attenborough. And the movie looks very realistic and is very authentic, just like The Boston Strangler. I think Fleischer did an amazing job on that. John Hurt, he also delivers a phenomenal performance in this film. It's such a great film, and a very nice release from Twilight Time. Comes with the booklet, and there's a picture at the back there. Let me show it to you properly. There it is. Yeah, great film, great film. I can't believe I've never seen this film before, but better late than never. Next one is Puppet on a Chain, and now this is a film I've always liked. I've seen it twice before, and it's just an enjoyable action thriller with a terrific speedboat chase through the canals of Amsterdam, 17 years prior to Amsterdam, the Dutch movie that also had a great chase sequence in it. But this is just an enjoyable film. Very nice artwork there on the front, and this was brought out by Scorpion Releasing, and it's limited to 1,000. And It's just very nice to have this movie on Blu-ray. Next one is Son of Saul, or Saul Via, which is the original title of this Hungarian film. It won the Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film, and it absolutely deserved it. It's about this man Saul, who is a member of the Sonderkommando. The Sonderkommando are a group of Jewish prisoners who guides other Jewish prisoners to their gas chambers, and after that they have to get rid of the clothes and get rid of the bodies and burn the bodies and throw the ashes into the river and all that. They're the ones who have to do the dirty work. And one day he finds out that a boy has survived the gas chamber, but this boy ends up being killed anyway by one of the Germans. But he believes that that boy is his son, and he tries to hide the boy's body so that he can give him a proper ritual burial. But he needs to find a rabbi for that. And if you think you've seen all the films about the Holocaust, believe me, you have not seen this one. This is an extraordinary and very impressive piece of cinema with unique camera work. I mean, the camera stays with the main character the entire time. It does shift away to other characters and all that, but most of the time it stays with him, and it gives you something that you've never seen before, really. But what an amazing feature debut by Laszlo Nemes. I mean, this is certainly a name to remember. And this Blu-ray also has a short film by him, Turelem. I'm pretty sure I butchered that name, but the English title for this one is Waterloo Patience, I believe. But it was shot in the same style as Son of Saul, and it's focused on one person, and in this case it's a woman, and you don't know exactly where she is or what's going on. You see some unfocused activities behind her, but then at the end everything becomes very clear, where she is and what she's doing and all that. It's only 50 minutes long, this short film, but it's a powerful little film. And this is a powerful, long film, really. It's, I cannot recommend this enough. This is the kind of film that everybody needs to see. Son of Saul. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Of course I had to get this movie. It would be very weird if I didn't get this movie, right? But this is the Italian steelbook, which is the cheapest steelbook that I could find. But it's exactly the same as all the others. And I absolutely love this movie. I mean, does it has the same story structure as the original? Of course it does. There's no denying that. And I know that it bothered many fans, but it didn't really bother me. I just don't hope that Episode 8 will be the same as Empire Strikes Back, and Episode 9 will be the same as Return of the Jedi. But anyway, I don't think that will happen. But the new characters are great, by the way. I just immediately embraced them. I felt like I know these characters for years, and like the old characters. And the interaction between the new and the old characters works extremely well. I mean, people say that Kylo Ren has more depth and personality than Darth Vader, and I completely agree. This is a guy who's very unsure of himself, and he's very frustrated. He wants to be like Vader, and even with his mask on, you can feel his frustration. I think Adam Driver did a superb job as Kylo Ren. And I can't wait to see more of Knights of Ren in the next episode. We saw a glimpse of them in Rey's vision. And speaking of Rey, I thought she was great. I thought she was a great character. I think Daisy Ridley was wonderful. And some were complaining that sees a Mary Sue, and I did not know what they meant by that, so I had to look it up. But apparently, a Mary Sue is this cliched character who can stand her own ground and kick ass, and is very gifted in different kind of skills and all that. And you know what, I have no problem with Mary Sue. I love Mary Sue, so no problems about that. For years we are complaining that there aren't many strong female characters in movies, and now we have one in Star Wars, and most likely also in the next Star Wars movie, Rogue One. And now we're complaining about that. We're never satisfied, are we? The first time I saw The Force Awakens, I was a bit confused, because when I found out that Kylo Ren, and this is going to be a spoiler by the way, is the son of Han and Leia, I thought, okay, where are their other two children? Because if you're familiar with the Star Wars mythology, you know that Han and Leia has 3 children together. Two of them are twins, and none of them is named Ben Solo, which is Kylo Ren's real name. There is a Ben Skywalker, however, but that's the son of Luke Skywalker and Mara Jade. It's not the same person. So what they have done, what Disney has done, is completely ignoring the original Star Wars timeline, which I was expecting though, because Chewbacca gave that away. Because the original timeline, Chewbacca is dead. There's a book called Vector Prime, which is the first part in the new Jedi Order series, and in that book, Chewie gets killed. And the story of this book takes place 21 years after Return of the Jedi, while The Force Awakens takes place 30 years after Return of the Jedi. And I can imagine that George Lucas, wasn't very pleased with that. I think when George Lucas sold his company to Disney, he also gave them his stories and his ideas for Episode 7, and also, for 8 and 9, without a doubt. But Disney decided to do their own thing. But you can see it this way. There are now 2 different Star Wars timelines. You have the literary timeline, where Han and Leia has 3 children, Luke is married and has 1 child, and Chewbacca is dead. And there is the cinematic timeline, where Han and Leia has 1 child, as far as we know anyway. Luke is alone on an island and maybe gay. I mean, that's what Mark Hamill said in an interview. He said that Luke Skywalker might be homosexual, and Chewbacca is still alive. So it depends on what timeline you prefer, although the cinematic timeline isn't complete yet. Okay, arrow time, and the first one is What Have You Done to Solange, which I thought was an excellent giallo, by the way. Very brutal at times. But this was directed by Massimo Dallamano, the cinematographer, as it says here, of A Fistful of Dollars and For a Few Dollars More. And this was this is the first movie in the Schoolgirls in Peril trilogy. The second one is called What Have They Done to Your Daughters? And the third one is called Rings of Fear. And Dallamano co-wrote the screenplay of Rings of Fear, and he was supposed to direct it as well, but he was killed in a car accident before production began. Next one is Wild Geese. Believe it or not, I've never seen this one before. Never. For some reason, it just never happened, But this was, this was part of the flash sale that Arrow was having, so I just decided to pick it up. I know that the American release has a bonus movie, which I believe is the sequel to The Wild Geese. I think Roger Moore was in that one as well. But yeah, The Wild Geese. The Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, Ross Meyer movie. Now this is something you will not believe, but I have never ever seen a Ross Meyer movie. I'm ashamed to say this, really. I've always wanted to see some of his films like Fiction and Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. I really hope that Arrow will be releasing those films on Blu-ray. It would be very, very nice. But yeah, I've never seen a Ross Meyer movie, so I guess this is going to be the first one. And this also contains another film, The 7 Minutes. These are two films that Ross Meyer has done for 20th Century Fox. His only studio films. The rest are all independently produced, low budget films. But this one is limited to 3,000. Yeah, 3,000. So I thought, what the hell? I'll grab this one. And this was also very interesting. This is the only film that was written by, here he is, Roger Ebert. And you should get this film for that alone. This is the Nekatsu Diamond Guys Volume 1. Volume 2 is coming out in a couple of months' time. This contains 3 movies. Let me show you what it is. Voice Without a Shadow, Red Pier, and The Rambling Guitarist. Never seen any of them, to be honest. But it's the great thing about Arrow, they all release films that I've never heard or seen before. And comes with this nice 3-disc set. Nice booklet as well. So yeah, looking forward to check these films out. And speaking of Japanese cinema, I grabbed the box set of Outlaw Gangster VIP, the complete collection, which has all 6 movies in there. Gangster VIP 2, Heartless, Goro the Assassin, Black Dagger, and Kill. Now I was expecting this set to be a little bigger, with keep cases in it, like what they have done with the Yakuza papers. But this is a nice release as well, with a very nice digi-pack and beautiful artwork, by the way, on the set here. Here on the DVDs and Blu-rays. And of course it has the booklet as well. So far I've only seen the first movie, and I thought it was great film. And looking forward to see the other ones. And of course I also grabbed Bride of Re-Animator. I was, at first I was thinking, should I get this one, because I already have this on Blu-ray. Which is the German media book. But I thought, what the hell, I just grab it anyway. It's Arrow, it's gonna be limited, it is limited actually to 3,000, and when it's gone, you have to get it, you have to pay a lot more money than what you did when it was available. And I believe this is now out of print, so it is going for crazy money. But I'm glad I was, I got it for when it was available. Excuse me, I'm just rambling on. Sorry about that. But this is such a fantastic release. This is all embossed. This is all embossed. This is all embossed. I mean, this is a much more beautiful set than the German digi pack. And beautiful artwork again on the set. Look at that. It's actually a shame that Arrow doesn't have the rights to the first Re-Animator movie. Because it would have been nice if they released, they did an edition of that as well. But I believe they do have the rights of Part 3, Beyond Re-Animator, which I do like, by the way. I know that a lot of people doesn't like that movie, but I do. And hopefully they will do a similar set like this one with Beyond Re-Animator. Dawn of the Re-Animator. I like that. I believe this is the prequel to the first movie. How Re-Animator became Re-Animator, if I'm correctly. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know. But what a set. What a beautiful, beautiful set. And You know, I've also pre-ordered the female prisoner Scorpion films. You know, I was hoping that Arrow will release that because I have a DVD set with part 1, 3, and 4. I wanted to get part 2, but I thought, you know, I wait for Arrow to release those films, and they are going to release it, which is just fantastic. When I saw the pronouncement, you know, I couldn't be more happier. So I pre-ordered it and can't wait to get them. It's going to be another fantastic release by Arrow, no doubt. But yeah, this is great, absolutely great. And that was it for this update of April 2016. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.